This is a new Google Pixel 8a. It's an A-series Google Pixel, which means it's budget friendlier, but this also means it's probably not what you think it is. What's up, internet? I'm Brian McDuff, aka BMac, and welcome to another video. So yes, indeed, today we're gonna be going over the Pixel 8a, the new A-series budget-friendly option in the Google Pixel device lineup. But first things first, I do need to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Google for actually sending out this Pixel 8a gift from Google for me to be able to check out and enjoy. So Google, thank you, appreciate you so much. But with that having been said, let's just get right into it here with discussing this bad boy by starting things out with the design and how things are looking on the outside of the Pixel 8a. The Pixel 8a is measuring in at 6.1 inches with a couple of key design changes here that I'm actually pretty excited about. For one thing, you are getting a frosted matte plastic back now, as opposed to the shiny fingerprint magnet design that we had on the Pixel 7a, complemented still by the full width camera band that almost seamlessly blends into the matching aluminum curved sides, with a flat front display that is still curved, but just ever so slightly at the very edges, to give the device a very polished, sleek, and overall just very comfortable phone to hold in your hand, which actually might make it the perfect Pixel size, if I might say so myself. Not too small, not too large. This 6.1 inch form factor right here in a Pixel device, I'm loving. You will still notice you do have very clicky and responsive buttons on the side of the Pixel 8a for your sleep and wake button, as well as your volume rocker button for controlling the volume, in addition to your physical SIM card slot on the bottom left part of the device, which personally I think is awesome to see. I love having the option between a physical SIM card or an eSIM, complete of course with your USB-C port right on the bottom. The Pixel 8a is also available in several different colors this year, those colors being Aloe, Bay, Porcelain, and Obsidian. Google just always does such a good job with their variety of colors. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Pixel color, if we're being honest. They've all had their own level of charm to them. They've been different, but they've all been fantastic. And you are also getting an IP67 dust and waterproof rating here to top all of this off. But if you know me, you know probably the biggest complaint that I'm gonna serve up here on the Pixel 8a is simply just the fact that we have rounded edges as opposed to squared off edges. This is not unique to the Pixel. Any device that comes out these days, if it has rounded edges, I'm just wishing they were squared off. That's just how it is. But we do also have to take a few minutes to talk about the Pixel 8a display here, because this is where things really start to impress and in other ways kind of disappoint. But let's get into that. The Pixel 8a is sporting a 6.1 inch HDR OLED display with a full HD plus resolution, which serves up a commendable pixel density rating of around 430 ppi. Add to that the 1400 nits of brightness or 2000 nits of peak brightness that allows the Pixel 8a to hold up remarkably well even in harsh lighting conditions like direct sunlight. On top of another pretty impressive upgrade here, at least as it relates to A series of Pixel devices, a refresh rate that goes up to 120 Hertz as opposed to just up to 90 Hertz like we had on the Pixel 7a. And you do also have that under-display optical fingerprint reader alongside your Class 3 Face Unlock that both allow for a quick, easy, and reliable unlocking of your Pixel 8a without any kind of problem. But the thing is, all this is still protected with just Gorilla Glass 3 on the front glass, which, if I'm being honest, I'm not really 100% okay with. I did bring this up last year with the Pixel 7a because the 7a also came with Gorilla Glass 3, and I think it's time we just need some stronger, tougher glass in these A-series devices. Listen, I get that this is a budget-conscious device and that some corners will need to be cut as it relates to manufacturing this thing and putting it together with certain materials, but the fact still remains that Gorilla Glass 3 is over a decade old at this point, with numerous generations in between that are obviously stronger and more scratch resistant. Moving on from that, one thing that does immediately jump out at me here is the size of the bezels that you're getting along the front sides of the front display, because they're pretty darn noticeable. It's not that they're extraordinarily big per se, it's just that I think I've been spoiled with the very narrow bezels that are readily available on other smartphones on the market right now. And it's one of those things where once you see them and you experience them, it makes the rather large bezels on the Pixel 8a really start to stand out. You're looking at about 3.5mm bezels on the top and sides of the display, plus an even heftier chin on the bottom that measures half a centimeter. That chin is almost adding insult to injury here, if you will, and it adds to what's already a pretty noticeable bezel situation all around the front display itself. But if either of those things don't bother you, the Gorilla Glass 3 or the larger bezels and the chin, overall a pretty solid display experience here that honestly is not all that far off from the flagship Pixel 8 Pro when you think about it, which honestly is nothing short of impressive, with this again being an A-series offering in the Pixel generational lineup. But this is where things start to get a little juicy as it relates to the performance of the Pixel 8a and how it stacks up with this Google performance and AI that we keep hearing about. The Pixel 8a actually has the same Google Tensor G3 chipset that the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro has, complemented by 8 gigabytes of RAM, with base storage this year still being limited to only 128 gigs, so I obviously wish that was a little bit higher. We do actually have an option now for 256 gigs, but that is going to be limited to only the Obsidian color, so an option, but still a limited option. But back to that Google Tensor G3 chipset we were just talking about, in real world testing and day-to-day life using the Pixel 8a, it still kind of blows my mind how well this budget-friendly device holds up as it relates to overall capability. Whether you're gaming, editing photo or video content, using any of the AI tools built right into the device itself, this thing is just so incredibly powerful. It's quick, it's snappy, it's smooth, and again, fully capable, probably making this device a heck of a better bang for your buck than you might realize. You do also have a guarantee and a promise from Google that you can get regular updates for your Pixel 8a for 7 years to come, which means you technically could be using this as an up-to-date device all the way into the year 2031, which, if I'm being honest, is just downright impressive. It's pretty apparent to me that Google is going all in as it relates to allowing you to rely on your investment in a Google Pixel device, knowing that it's going to last for years to come. But now for the category that is always my favorite to talk about with Pixel devices, the camera, and how the Pixel 8a holds up with capturing your favorite photos and videos. When you take the Pixel camera system and then also consider the AI features that come into play here, not only on the device as a whole, but specifically from within the camera app, it is just simply remarkable what Google has done here. The Pixel 8a is offering a dual camera system on the back with a 64 megapixel wide lens and a 13 megapixel ultra wide lens, alongside a selfie camera on the front with video capabilities of up to 4K 60 frames per second on the rear cameras or 4K 30 frames per second on the selfie camera. And as you might expect, photos here on the Pixel 8a look pretty much nothing short of amazing. At this point, no matter which Pixel device you have, if it's a Pixel, you can sit pretty rest assured knowing that you're gonna get some killer photos at the simple touch of a button. And all that even before the AI photo enhancement features and capabilities built right into the native camera app itself. These days, even if I'm taking along another smartphone with me for testing and for review, chances are I'm bringing along with me a Pixel device simply because I know I could rely on the photo or videos taken straight out of the camera with a great shot that I could then use the AI features built in to turn a great shot into an even better shot, which some would argue is even what you could label as perfection. From the Pixel photo science to begin with, and then adding on top of that the magic editor, photo unblur, portrait light, night sight, you name it, the Pixel is just pretty much a must-have in my pocket these days, no matter which Pixel device it is. Now listen, on the Pixel 8a, you might not have the same number of lenses and overall optical quality of that as say the Pixel 8 Pro, but when you think about the Pixel 8a and look at it for what it is, there is simply so much to be happy about, especially in the camera department, because it's packing not only your fantastic camera science, but also those AI features all packed together in a budget-friendly device, which makes this thing so enticing. But now, of course, we need to talk about something that could completely make or break your entire smartphone experience: battery life, and how long you could actually expect the Pixel 8a to last for when you're using it on a daily basis. The Pixel 8a houses a 45,000 milliampere hour battery, which Google is actually advertising as being capable of providing up to 24 hours of all-day battery life, or even up to 72 hours of battery life if you turn on the extreme battery saver mode. But when it comes down to actual screen on time on the Pixel 8a, you're probably looking at just around 3 to 4 hours. Now, bear in mind, my screen on time is usually at the lower end of what a device is actually usually capable of, simply because I usually have that higher refresh rate option enabled, and I also usually have my brightness set super high. But I am seeing 3 to 4 hours of screen on time as the average, and it seems other creators are experiencing the same. So 3 to 4 hours of screen on time is a pretty good estimate here. Maybe not the strongest battery life performance, but definitely what I would consider to be solid and far from bad. So solid battery performance here with the Pixel 8a, which you gotta be happy about. But with all this having been said, here are my final thoughts on the Pixel 8a and whether or not I think it can live up to your modern day smartphone expectations. I think I've pretty much alluded to this throughout the entire course of this review video, but when it comes to my experience with the latest releases of Pixel smartphones, I just think you can't go wrong. These things are so solid, and when it comes to the Pixel 8a, I think it's a pretty solid device, with the design itself still really being pretty nice despite its few weak points that I brought up earlier. But if you look past those hiccups, you're gonna start to see that this thing is actually jam-packed with features and selling points you probably wouldn't even expect to readily see in a budget-friendly offering. You see, the thing is, when I think some people think of an A-series device in the Google Pixel lineup, they immediately think budget-friendly, watered down, not a whole heck of a lot to be excited about. And if that's how you think about the A series of Pixel devices now, you're probably thinking about it all wrong. If you're looking for a modern day smartphone with a good number of bells and whistles included that you probably wouldn't expect at a price point that almost sounds too good to be true, trust me, you're gonna wanna check out the Pixel 8a. This thing is an absolute powerhouse as it relates to being a budget-friendly phone. And if you wanted to check out the Pixel 8a and learn more, you could of course always see the latest deals, prices, promos, and information for the Pixel 8a by heading to my affiliate link, bmac.link/pixel8a. Or of course, as always, there's gonna be clickable links in the video description box and in the comment section below, so check those out. I'm gonna go hang out with the Google Gemini AI assistant. I feel like a little kid when I'm asking questions to Google Gemini. It's just like, but why? 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 And Gemini has an answer for all of it. And I can do that on the Pixel 8a. I will see you guys in my next video.